Did you know the average home holds over 300,000 items? That's a lifetime of things collected over the years, memories, keepsakes, and everyday essentials. But here's the problem. For many seniors, all that stuff slowly turns from cherished possessions into overwhelming clutter, making homes feel more stressful than peaceful. Meet Diane. She's 72, a retired teacher. And after decades of living in the same home, she decided it was time to declutter. She imagined a fresh start, an organized space where she could relax and enjoy her golden years. But the moment she started, she felt completely stuck. Every item held a memory. Every decision felt impossible. And soon, her home wasn't just cluttered with stuff. It was cluttered with stress and regret. And Diane isn't alone. Most seniors make the same decluttering mistakes that make the process harder, longer, and way more emotional than it needs to be. But here's the good news. You can avoid 99% of them. Today, I'm going to reveal the 8 biggest decluttering mistakes seniors make and how to fix them with simple, stress-free solutions. And trust me, mistake number 8, it's the one thing holding most people back, without them even realizing it. Stay with me until the end, because this one might just change the way you think about decluttering forever. Let's get started. Why decluttering? Feels overwhelming for seniors. For many seniors, decluttering isn't just about getting rid of stuff. It's about letting go of pieces of their life. Every item holds a memory, a story, a connection to the past. That's why the process can feel so emotionally exhausting. Studies show that clutter increases stress levels and can even lead to decision fatigue, the mental exhaustion that comes from making too many choices. And as we age, making decisions, especially about what to keep and what to let go, becomes even harder. But here's the truth. Decluttering doesn't mean erasing the past. It doesn't mean forgetting loved ones, disregarding achievements, or throwing away meaningful experiences. It means creating a space that serves you now, one that gives you peace, not stress. So instead of seeing decluttering as losing something, think of it as choosing what truly matters for this stage of your life. And once you make that shift, the process becomes lighter, easier, and even freeing. Mistake number 1. Trying to declutter everything at once. Diane was determined to reclaim her space. She set aside an entire weekend, rolled up her sleeves, and started pulling everything out. Closets, drawers, cabinets. She told herself, "I'll finish this by Sunday." But by the end of the first day, her house looked worse than before. Piles of undecided items were everywhere. She felt emotionally drained, and instead of feeling accomplished, she felt paralyzed. The truth? This approach almost never works. Why? Decluttering an entire home in one go is like trying to lose 20 pounds in 1 week. It's not realistic, and it often leads to burnout, frustration, and regretful decisions. When we try to do too much at once, we overwhelm our brains, making it harder to make decisions. This is called decision fatigue. The more choices we make, the worse our judgment becomes. That's why many people start strong, but quit halfway through. The fix? Start small. Pick one area. A single drawer, a single shelf, or just your nightstand. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Declutter only for that time and stop. Celebrate each small win. Small, consistent steps lead to lasting results. Real-life success. Diane tried this new approach. Instead of overwhelming herself, she started with her bathroom cabinet. The first day, she cleared out expired medications. The next, she tackled old beauty products. Within 2 weeks, she had cleared an entire room without stress. Lesson learned. Decluttering isn't about speed. It's about progress. One step at a time will get you there faster than trying to do it all at once. Have you ever tried to declutter everything at once and felt stuck? Share your experience in the comments. Mistake number 2, holding on to sentimental items you'll never use. Diane sat in her attic, surrounded by boxes of old letters, souvenirs, and keepsakes. A yellowed wedding invitation, her son's first pair of shoes, a drawer full of greeting cards. Each item told a story, but instead of bringing joy, they felt heavy, like a weight pressing down on her. She picked up a ceramic figurine her sister had given her 20 years ago. She never really liked it, but how could she part with a gift? And that's the emotional trap. The hidden struggle. When memories become clutter. We keep things out of guilt, even if we don't love or use them. We fear that letting go of an object means losing the person or the memory. But too much sentimental clutter turns our home into a museum of the past instead of a space for the present. The fix? Keep the best. Let go of the rest. Diane realized that the memories weren't in the objects. They were in her heart. She didn't need 100 old birthday cards to remember the love of her family. Instead, she took photos of special keepsakes before parting with them, digitized letters and artwork so she could revisit them anytime, chose one meaningful item per person instead of keeping everything, passed down heirlooms to family members who would truly appreciate them. When she gave her granddaughter a quilt her mother had made, she expected sadness. Instead, she felt joy, knowing the quilt would be used and loved instead of sitting in a dusty box. How to know what to keep? Ask yourself, does this item still bring me joy and purpose? Am I keeping this because I love it or because I feel guilty? Would someone else appreciate it more than I do? If the answer is no, it's time to release it with gratitude. Diane thought decluttering meant loss. Instead, she felt lighter, freer, and more connected to the things that truly mattered. What's the hardest sentimental item for you to let go of? Share in the comments. Mistake number 3, not asking for help. Diane had always prided herself on being independent. She raised a family, built a career, and managed a home. So why should decluttering be any different? She stood in her living room, surrounded by piles of clothes, books, and decades of memories. The plan was to handle everything herself. But hours turned into days, and instead of making progress, she felt drained, overwhelmed, and stuck. I should be able to do this, she told herself. But deep down, she knew she needed help. The hidden struggle, the fear of being a burden. Many seniors avoid asking for help because they don't want to inconvenience their children or friends. They feel embarrassed about the clutter. They believe they should be able to manage on their own. But the truth? Decluttering alone is exhausting, physically and emotionally. The fix? Decluttering is easier and more fun. Together, Diane finally reached out to her son, Matt. She expected him to sigh or make excuses. Instead, he said, "Of course, Mom. I'd love to help." That weekend, Matt and his wife came over. They sorted, laughed over old memories, and made quick decisions together. What once felt overwhelming now felt possible and even enjoyable. How to ask for help without feeling guilty. Make it a shared experience. Turn decluttering into a family event, sharing stories about old items before deciding what to keep. Set clear goals. Ask for help with specific tasks like organizing a closet or moving heavy boxes. Hire a professional. If family isn't available, consider a decluttering coach or professional organizer. By the end of the weekend, Diane's home felt lighter, and so did she. She realized that asking for help wasn't a weakness, it was a strength. Who in your life could help you declutter? Let us know in the comments. Mistake number 4, keeping things just in case. Diane opened her hallway closet and sighed. Tucked away in the back were old chargers for devices she no longer owned, a stack of mismatched Tupperware lids, and clothes she hadn't worn in over a decade. She had kept them all for the same reason, just in case. What if I need this someday? She thought. But as she looked around, she realized someday never came. The classic clutter trap. What if I need it? Many seniors struggle with letting go because they fear they might need an item later. Common just-in-case clutter includes old electronics and cords for long-gone devices, kitchen gadgets collecting dust in the back of cabinets, clothes that haven't fit in years, saved just-in-case weight changes, extra sets of bedding, towels, or tools that rarely or never get used. But here's the truth. If you haven't needed it in years, you probably never will. Diane's reality check. When just in case turns into clutter. As Diane sorted through her boxes, she realized she hadn't used most of these items in over 10 years. She was holding on to them out of habit, not necessity. So she made a decision. If she hadn't used something in the last 6 months, and it wasn't seasonal, it was time to let it go. The fix? The 6-month rule and the maybe box trick. The 6-month rule. If you haven't used an item in 6 months, and it's not something like holiday decorations, donate or discard it. The maybe box. If you're unsure about an item, put it in a box, label it with today's date, and store it out of sight. If you don't reach for it in 6 months, donate it. Without opening the box, Diane's light bulb moment. Once Diane put these strategies into action, she felt an immediate sense of relief. Her cabinets were easier to navigate, her closets had space again, and she realized letting go of just-in-case clutter wasn't just freeing her home, it was freeing her mind. What's one just-in-case item you've been holding on to? Let us know in the comments. Mistake number 5. Not having a plan for donations and trash. Diane had done the hard work. She had sorted through her closets, shelves, and storage bins. She had bags full of clothes, household items, and old books ready to go. But then, they just sat there. For weeks, those bags cluttered her hallway, making her home feel even more chaotic than before. Every time she walked by, she felt stressed instead of relieved. She had decluttered, but without a plan to remove the clutter, she was stuck. The hidden decluttering trap. Piles with no destination. Many seniors get through the hardest part, deciding what to let go, only to let their donations and trash linger in corners, spare rooms, or garages. This creates a feeling of unfinished work, like the decluttering process never really ends. A temptation to second-guess decisions and pull things back out of the pile. More clutter instead of less, just in a different location. Diane's solution: make a plan before you start. Before decluttering another drawer, Diane sat down and made a list of where she could take unwanted items. She looked up local charities that accepted clothing and household goods, recycling centers for electronics and hazardous waste, bulk trash pickup schedules in her neighborhood. With a plan in place, she was able to clear her donations out of her home immediately after sorting them. The fix? Set a deadline and follow through. Before you start decluttering, research donation centers, recycling locations, and bulk trash pickup options. Set a deadline. Once I decide to donate something, it must leave my house within a week. Pack it up and drop it off immediately. Don't let it sit around and tempt you to take things back. Diane's light bulb moment. The moment Diane's last bag of donations left her house, she felt free. She had finally broken the cycle of clutter because she had a plan that worked. Have you ever struggled with getting rid of your donation piles? Tell us in the comments. Mistake number 6. Forgetting to celebrate progress. Diane was making progress. Her closets were cleaner, her kitchen was more organized, and her home was finally feeling lighter. But instead of feeling accomplished, she felt frustrated. Why? Because she kept thinking about how much was left to do. She was so focused on what still needed decluttering that she didn't take a moment to appreciate how far she had come. The hidden danger of not enough. Thinking, many seniors start decluttering with high expectations, but when they don't finish everything immediately, they feel like they've failed. This leads to burnout. Decluttering feels like an endless chore instead of a positive change. Frustration. Instead of celebrating progress, you focus on what's still unfinished. Giving up too soon. When you don't feel like you're winning, it's easy to quit. Diane's breakthrough. Small wins. Matter. After a long weekend of decluttering, Diane's daughter asked her, "Mom, have you looked at your living room? It looks amazing." That's when Diane realized she had been so busy worrying about her to-do list that she forgot to appreciate her done list. From that moment on, she changed her approach. Instead of feeling discouraged, she started celebrating small victories. The fix? Reward yourself for progress. Set milestones. After finishing a room, a closet, or even just a shelf, pause and acknowledge your work. Take before and after photos. Seeing the difference will boost your motivation. Give yourself a reward. Treat yourself to a nice lunch, a relaxing movie night, or a phone call with a loved one. Decluttering is a journey, not a race. Diane stopped rushing and started enjoying the process. And guess what? She finished faster, because staying motivated made decluttering easier. What's one small decluttering win you've had recently? Share it in the comments. We'd love to celebrate with you. Mistake number 7. Decluttering. Without a clear vision, Diane started decluttering with good intentions. She wanted less clutter and more space. But there was a problem. She was getting rid of things randomly without a clear goal. One day, she'd tackle the kitchen. The next, she'd pull everything out of her bedroom closet. But without a vision, she felt like she was just moving stuff around instead of making real progress. Why decluttering feels directionless. Many people start decluttering simply because they feel they should, but without a clear vision, they get overwhelmed by endless decisions, struggle to let go because they don't know what they actually want to keep, feel unsatisfied even after decluttering because the space still doesn't feel right. Diane's breakthrough. Clarity creates success. One afternoon, Diane's daughter asked her, "Mom, what do you actually want your home to feel like when you're done?" That simple question changed everything. Diane closed her eyes and pictured it. A peaceful home where she could truly relax. A welcoming space where her grandkids could visit and play freely. A functional house with only the things she loved and used. Suddenly, decluttering wasn't about just getting rid of things. It was about creating the home she truly wanted. The fix? Visualize your ideal home. Close your eyes and imagine it. How do you want your home to feel? Define your priorities. Do you want more open space? A cozy, inviting atmosphere? Less stress when cleaning? Use this vision to guide your decluttering. If something doesn't fit your dream home, let it go. Decluttering with purpose equals faster and easier decisions. Once Diane had a vision, she stopped second-guessing every item. If something didn't match her goal, she let it go without guilt. What's your dream for your home after decluttering? Share in the comments. We'd love to hear. Mistake number 8. Letting guilt hold you back. Diane's home was full of things she didn't love or use, but when she tried to let go, something stopped her. Guilt. She held on to a china set from her mother that she never used but felt guilty giving away. A sweater from her late husband that no longer fit but felt too sentimental to part with. A gifted vase from a friend that wasn't her style, yet she kept it to avoid hurting their feelings. Does this sound familiar? The hidden weight of guilt. Clutter. Many seniors struggle with this. They feel obligated to keep gifts, even if they don't like or use them. Hold on to inherited items out of respect, even when they take up valuable space. Keep expensive mistakes, like unused exercise equipment, because getting rid of them feels wasteful. But here's the truth. Keeping something out of guilt doesn't honor the memory. It just clutters your space. Diane realized that holding on to her mother's china didn't bring her mother back. Keeping her husband's sweater didn't keep him close. It just took up space in the closet. And the vase? Her friend had probably forgotten about it years ago. The fix? Practice gratitude and let go with love. Acknowledge the item's role in your life. Say, "Thank you for the memories, but I no longer need you." Pass it on to someone who will truly appreciate it. Donate, gift, or sell it so it can be used instead of stored. Shift your mindset. Letting go of things doesn't mean letting go of memories. It means making room for new experiences and a lighter, happier home. After Diane embraced this, something incredible happened. Her home felt lighter. She no longer felt weighed down by guilt. And the best part? She finally had space to truly enjoy the things that mattered most. Have you ever struggled to let go of something because of guilt? Share your experience in the comments. The life-changing benefits of decluttering. At first, Diane thought decluttering was just about getting rid of stuff. But by the end of her journey, she realized it was about so much more. Her home wasn't just cleaner, it felt lighter, calmer, and more welcoming. Her days weren't spent managing clutter. They were spent enjoying her space and making new memories. And the biggest change? She felt free. Decluttering isn't about losing things. It's about gaining peace, more space to move freely, more clarity without constant visual stress, more time to focus on what truly matters. Diane no longer felt overwhelmed walking into her home. She could finally breathe. If Diane can do it, so can you. Decluttering doesn't have to be drastic or overwhelming. Just start. One drawer, one shelf, one small step at a time. Each thing you let go of brings you closer to a home that serves you. What's one area in your home you'd love to declutter first? Share in the comments. Now that you know the biggest decluttering mistakes, let's make real progress. Which mistake have you made before? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your experience. And remember, start small. Even just 10 minutes of decluttering today can bring you one step closer to a home that feels peaceful and free. If this video helped you, like it, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more practical tips to make life after 60 easier and happier.